Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Welcome everyone. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما وارنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه وارنا الباطل باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابه. لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. اللهم اغفر ذنوبنا، اللهم ارحمنا، اللهم ارحمنا جلينا. اللهم إنا نستعينك ونستغفرك ونستهديك ونؤمن بك ونتوب إليك ونتوكل عليك ونثني عليك الخير كله، نشكرك ولا نكفرك ونخلع ونترك من يفجرك. وصل اللهم على محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وأتباعه وسلم. ربنا اغفر لنا وارحمنا وأنت خير الراحمين. آمين والحمد لله رب العالمين. آمين. Inshallah, we will continue studying the section of a book which is called The Flashes by Said Nursi. And we just are warming up, getting ready to understand the story of Job, which is very, very important and interesting. And also, it's very common with Christian, Jewish, and Muslim community, all these traditions. And there are lots of argumentations about it. That's why it's taking a bit longer than expected to introduce the subject, because we have to have a base for it, and then go ahead and in understanding how the Quran deals with subject and which kind of message the Quran, by telling the story of Job, is presenting to us. Of course, we read the Quran in order to understand within our space and time now, right now, because the Quran says, I am your creator or humanity. If I am a human being, then I must listen to this and see what he's saying to me, telling to me what my creator is telling to me right now. That is why we have this understanding, this attitude towards the Quran when we read it. Even it may be a story, something like narrations from history, I will say, okay, there must definitely be a point that the speaker, God, my creator, is teaching me within my living conditions. Not that he is inviting me to go back to history and see what happened there to confirm the message about the narration. We never go back. We never question who was Job, and where he lived, and what was the people, how his wife, what in the story. But we are not going to go into the story. We are going to get the ethical, moral message or philosophical message, intellectual message that we will understand and also digest it within our human feelings. Now, before going into the story, we have our moderator, Anne, to present us the subject and also remind us what we have been doing maybe last 2 weeks. So
yeah, actually, I have two summaries to present. So I'll start with the first one, which was the week before last, in which we essentially summarized the supplication of um, Jonah. Just a second. Um, so I'm not gonna go into, I'm trying not to go into a lot of detail, but I want to start out by saying that in both of these, Jonah and Job, we see how all narrations in the Quran are actually physical descriptions, which cannot be read literally. So we need to learn how to apply the physical description to our spiritual life. And 2 weeks ago, and a beautiful example of this was we talked about the Kaaba and how the Kaaba is a symbol of Tawheed, the oneness of God, an empty and simple building. And its being empty witnesses that this universe cannot exist by itself. In other words, the Kaaba represents the material side of the universe. It's the house of God, but there is no God. It means that God doesn't reside in this universe. So I find God in the emptiness of the Kaaba. So it's a powerful symbol of God. So just like in the universe, we cannot find God, but through the universe, we can find God. In the Kaaba, we cannot find God, but through the Kaaba, we can find God. Um, and through Jonah's supplication, in fact, the whole universe becomes a sanctuary for us. Um, just like the Kaaba is a sanctuary area of Mecca, um, we can be assured that as the universe is a sanctuary, we can be assured that we have we are safe in our life here on earth because no cause can harm our spirit. So that's an example of the physical aspect of the Quran being applied to our spiritual life. Um, we also 2 weeks ago talked about Surah 70, ayah 20. I don't know if um, you can add it to your screen. Maybe it's not in this particular document. Let's see. Anyway, it was the ascent 20 70 20 is 20 um where we in general we're talking about misfortune, and as a rule when misfortune touches us, we tend to be filled with self-pity. We tend to be distressed and fretful. So what the Quran is teaching us is that something I don't like, I call it evil. And in reality, its purpose is to educate. So from God's perspective, it's pure good. It can only be pure good. From my perspective, the human perspective, we tend to take those hardships as evil. And this duality is seen in the second flash, where um, whereas Jonah's example was about spiritual pain and the solution, Job's is about physical pain and the solution. Again, we are, since the messages are ethical, They are presented in a rather abstract way, and we need to learn to apply it to ourselves, to our own needs. Um, so now I'm up to last week. Last week we were talking about how the Quran does not speak as a law book, but rather like a constitution, always using general principles. It is we who will write the law book for ourselves. We apply these general principles. We need to learn how to apply these general principles to our own lives. So last week we looked at two supplications, or before the text even starts, Nursey presents two supplications. The first one is the one that we all know so well, in which Job cries out, "Indeed, harm has afflicted me, and you are the most merciful of the mercifuls, most merciful of the merciful." And we discussed how, although Job is acknowledging that harm has afflicted him, he's acknowledging at the same time the mercy of God. Um, and then in a supplication, I believe it was from Psalm 38, in which um, Allah is giving us an example, another example that when paired, these two um, verses become, the meaning becomes beautifully clear. The second one is Job cried out to his Lord, "Satan has afflicted me with distress and suffering," where you can see that harm has been replaced with Satan, and there's no mention of the most merciful of the merciful. So the question we spent quite a bit of time on last week was, why is there a change in language from harm to Satan? Because the meaning then becomes completely different, which brought us to one of the essential principles of reading the Quran, which is that every verse is supported in understanding by other verses. So you can't just read the first one and say, "Okay, I get it," and then read the second one, which is in a later part of the Quran, and say, "Oh, wait a second, what's going on here? Why is there a change in language?" So the power in this, reading the ayahs together or understanding them in regards to other verses, is that um, in where Job is saying, "Verily, harm has afflicted me," he is saying that this is a human experience created by God. But at the same time, he's acknowledging that God is the most merciful. So this acknowledgement is the right interpretation of the reality of pain. He's acknowledging, yes, I have pain, and yes, it comes from you, but you are merciful, and there is mercy in whatever you create. So he's understanding it has a purpose. Whereas the the ayah where Satan is substituted for harm is uh, recognizing, is not recognizing the purpose of the creation of pain. So what this, what Allah is saying here is, if you think there's no mercy in the creation of something you don't like pain, this is from a satanic understanding of creation. This is a totally wrong understanding because we need to recognize that in creation there is no harm. Our Creator wills everything, so why would He harm us? If you think this way, these um, things you don't like, particularly in this example of pain, it is a satanic interpretation because in the Quran it has no reality. So, just to sum up, the creation of something by God is completely different from my own relationship to it. So, in the example of illness and death, its creation is the result of God's mercy to teach me, to help me understand the purpose of my existence. What is He trying to tell me? So, if you have an illness, you have something you don't like, we're learning through these two very powerful flashes that you should try and understand what is the wisdom in this creation because God must be trying to teach me something I need. For example, how needy I am, which we often forget. So he's teaching me, he must be teaching me something that I need. And in doing so, I will deserve infinite compensation in the hereafter. So that essentially concludes the past 2 weeks, inshallah.
MashaAllah. Yeah, the perfect understanding of the way of how the Quran must be read. So Quran is thank you very much. Have you done with it, with your presentation? Huh?
Yes, I'm done. I'm done. Thank you very much. I'm gonna mute myself now.
No,
Inshallah.
thank you. It is beautiful to summarize them, rightly concluded, mashallah. But it is amazing. It is amazing to learn how the Quran is presenting to us. When we interpret anything that we don't like as something bad in its creation, we don't see the mercy and wisdom in the creation of something that we don't like. God knows that I don't like because my feeling of dislike is created by Him. That is why He asks me, don't like this event, run away from it. But if I give you, think about the wisdom why I gave it to you. There must be a mercy in everything I create. It's beautiful. So the first verse includes Erhamur Rahimin. وَأَنْتَ أَرْحَمُ الرَّاحِمِينَ. I know you are merciful. But if I take an attitude towards the harm that I feel, pain I feel, in a negative way, this negative interpretation is satanic interpretation, or anything really rejects the truth is represented in the Quran by satanic worldview. So here, when the verse it says that Satan has inflicted me with distress and suffering. That's what the same prophet in another scenario presented to us, Prophet Jonah, saying that Satan has inflicted me. It means Jonah is forgotten here. It is an example for me. Whether he's a prophet, he never forgets. No, the Quran says. It's an example for me. So the prophetic lives are examples for us. So it doesn't mean that the Quran will idealize the prophetic life and I will take it as an example. Impossible. I must take the prophetic life as an example for my mistakes as well. So the Quran presents it. If you don't see the wisdom and mercy in my creation, so In the second verse, you see there is no mercy is mentioned. And you are the most merciful of the merciful. There is no mention of it because in satanic verse view, we miss the mercy in the creation of the things that we don't like. Although Anne has summarized it perfectly, but I am excited about this beautiful uh, way of Quran is teaching us through the stories of prophetic narrations. We have to be very careful for each word while we are reading the Quran because it's so consistent. If we don't pay attention to these kind of details, if we don't pay attention to the detail of this wordings of the Quran, then we may misunderstand, saying that this prophet is really nonsense, although complaining about harm has afflicted, as if he's pleased with the harm. He says, "Oh, this beautiful, it is your mercy. I loved it. Give me more." Of course, it doesn't mean that. Of course, it doesn't mean that. Definitely not. So it means if you see the harm, I'm not expecting you not to feel pain from the harm I created, but I am giving it to you for a purpose to let you know, as and beautifully said that I really love this, in order to fulfill the purpose of your existence. At this stage of your life, at this time of your life, you need to experience pain and see who you are, how needy you are. You are saying that this is my head, this is my arm, this is my body, whatever. But when I create something that you don't like in your body, you feel pain. And you see, you are not the owner of your body. And at the end, anyway, your body is going to be taken away by me, the one who created it, for a purpose, temporary period of education, training here in this world. Beautiful, beautiful way of understanding the story of Job. Now, why last week we mentioned about the while we are doing the introductory study, we mentioned that it is very common in Torah. There is a long argument in this section of Torah which is called Job. So you can read it if you are interested in. But at the end, the problem is not solved. Lesson is not taken. Unfortunately, but originally, it must be like it is presented in the Quran. So Quran comes to correct it. That is why there are lots of arguments, and the ends up with an uh, unsolved presentation of the story of Jonah with no lesson is taken. But when we pay attention how the Quran presents to us in a simple way, we understand that there's a great lesson in it. Inshallah, we are going to read it. One point, our friends, about the conclusion of the previous section, we read about Jonah's, the prophet Jonah's story from the Quran, and tried to apply it to our practical life right now. And our friend said, why Anne mentioned Kaaba, although she made it clear that it's a barren building, which means empty building. Salvation for human spirit to understand that when I feel myself in this universe, no satisfaction is available, possible from the universe itself, then I am saved. Because it is just, there is no God in the universe. That is what Kaaba represents. Kaaba, to go on Hajj and see there is no God in the universe. Everybody comes there all over the world, from the Muslim world, and says, oh God, in front of an empty building. It's not God is living in the building. Don't be ridiculous. So I came here, there's no God. It means Kaaba represents the universe, as beautifully put by Anne. So it is the universe. There's no God here. When you realize that there is nothing in the universe can be the creator of anything, that is the realization of your reality, the truth. There is nothing in this universe which can satisfy you. There is nothing in the universe which can give you existence. But everything is, so if there is no one here, everything is from the creator of the universe, whoever created it. So the whole universe, so the creator of the universe must be an absolute being, because cannot be something like the universe, created things. He is the creator. So what is it to do with the Jonah's position? I think here, this is salvation. Let me make this one more visible. Now, the story of Jonah in the Quran is presented in this way. If a piece of it related to the example of Kaaba. So if he had not been, one of those who glorified God, he would have certainly remained in its belly, in the belly of the fish. It's an example. Yeah, it's an example. We studied what the fish represents. So he would have certainly remained in the belly of, in its belly. It means in the belly of the fish. It means suffocated, cannot get out of it, imprisoned there. So horrible life experience. If he had not glorified God, it means acknowledged God, until the day of resurrection. It means until he dies, he will be suffering of meaningless life, purposeless life, and expecting to go into annihilation, complete non-existence at the end of the journey of life. This is what the belly of life here, belly of the fish. But he glorified God. He understood God. How? But we cast him out sick. It means helpless on the barren shore. When he realized that when he wants to find the source of salvation, source of the existence, so that he will really uh, create everything he wants by acknowledging him. If you don't acknowledge, everything seems to be transient, then you disappear at the end of your life when you die. So barren shore realization that this universe is barren. Barren for what? It doesn't mean that there's no plant growing here. Barren doesn't produce any creator within itself. So Barren shore reminded us barren, empty Kaaba. So we can correlate it, relate it to each other, and see that only going through barren shore, you understand who God is. If we don't see that this universe is a barren shore, as the Quran says, yeah, yeah, it's beautiful. So when we understand that these verses are amazing, when we understand that it is not the earth is growing the things we need, it is the creator of the universe employed everything to grow the things, then to grow the things that we need, then we see that, the creator of the universe is presenting me what I need in this world. But only if I see that the universe is barren in order to have a creator in it. So Quran says, after Jonah experienced that the universe is barren, there is no creator really who will satisfy his infinite capacity of need infinite capacity of need for satisfaction for his spiritual, for his feelings. Then God says, made, we made something there above him to comfort him. It is us who is creating whatever you are taking pleasure from. But you have to go through barren shore. That is the universe, that there is no creator. This kind of reading of the Quran really makes our heart, or my heart at least, satisfied that we are beautifully educated in this world with simple examples so that we can visualize through the story of the prophets presented to us in the Quran. So we never talk about a gourd tree. What is it? Anything you benefit from, anything you benefit from is created by, as the Quran says, we made. Anything you needed, grow, ready to about him. It means just you can go and pick up from the plants, vegetables, or fruit from their trees. Just take it. It's above you. What is this gourd tree? Gourd tree is an example. Whatever you, what are you eating now? I am eating a mango. Okay, that is your gourd tree now. Don't talk about what the gourd tree, what are they going to do with it? Which kind of gourd tree is it? So, inshallah, this way of reading the Quran is beneficial, satisfies our feeling. But if you go into which barren shore, where is it? Is it on the north of America or north of Africa, or where Prophet Jonah was in somewhere around the Red Sea? Ridiculous. What are you going to do with it? Indian Ocean, what? So we are here in the universe. That is my barren shore here, where I am. I live in here in New York, so that is my barren shore. So I have to acknowledge that whatever I am benefiting from this universe is provided by my creator. And everything I take benefit from the creation is my this gourd tree, whatever it is. Yeah, so I am eating an orange. That's my gourd tree. Yeah, I am eating beans. That is my gourd tree. Now, but I acknowledge that it is from my creator. Oh, it is. I am excited about this method of reading the Quran. That is why I keep repeating myself. Please, please, when you read the Quran, be careful you are reading the translation, but very careful what the message is there. Don't lose yourself. Who is who? What is name of a city there? So we will see, for example, a name of a city, Median. It's a place called Median. Doesn't matter. And this tribe or this kind of people of someone somewhere there, where are they? Is it really true that these people are destroyed by something very strong wind? How can I make sure? None of your business. Your life is going to be destroyed by a strong wind of death, breath. So take it for yourself. Make it practical, inshallah. All right. Uh, Sorry for my long introduction again. Inshallah, I will leave the mic to Anne, the moderator, to read and present us the following paragraph.
Bismillah. The gist of the well-known story of Job, upon whom be peace, is as follows. While afflicted with numerous wounds and sores for a long time, he recalled the great recompense to be had for his sickness and endured it with utmost patience. But later, when the worms generated by his wounds penetrated to his heart and his tongue, the seat of the remembrance and knowledge of God, he feared that his duty of worship would suffer. And so he said in supplication, not for the sake of his own comfort, but for the sake of his worship of God, O Lord, harm has, harm has afflicted me. My, my remembrance of you with my tongue and my worship of you with my heart will suffer. God Almighty then accepted this pure, sincere, disinterested, and devout supplication in the most miraculous fashion. He granted to Job perfect good health and made manifest in him all kinds of compassion.
Yeah. Yep, sorry. Here we go.
Do you want me to read the blue text or do you want to?
Uh, if you like it, go ahead. What
Oh, okay.
I
So
have
blue
this,
text was inserted.
yeah, I wrote it. It's
Yeah,
not
by
a,
Brother Ali. Okay.
yeah. Please, please read that.
This does not mean that when we make the same supplication, our physical problems will definitely be cured. Our purpose should be to use this opportunity of being utterly in need of help in order to realize who can respond to this need and present your needs to him spiritually. While looking for a physical solution, keep this understanding that the same one is providing all of what you have been utilizing. This is the way of making our life meaningful and satisfactory according to our disposition, the reality of being a human being. Otherwise, our feelings will be begging for material things to help us. This goes against human dignity and honor. In order to remind our mind and heart of this understanding, we need to verbally utter this verse as well. This will be the supplication of our bodily life.
It doesn't mean that we shouldn't recite the verse. Yes, we should, and we should speak to God verbally as well, our minds, our feelings accompanied with it. That is how we are created in this world. We are not only spirits, we are created with a body. So, but at the same time, I will do nothing but say this one, utter these words, and wait for the cure. That is not what the Quran is presenting to us. Now, this is the summary of the story. And can you just share your takeaway from the text we read?
Um, well, my takeaway from the text is that prior to reading this, I thought that the story of Job was simply about be patient, be patient, be patient. And we describe patient people as having the patience of Job, as if that is the lesson. So I've just found it extremely interesting that that's in fact not entirely correct. And most people don't seem to know what the real message is. That because Job was afflicted in his ability to worship God in that way, God granted him perfect health. And there's a message in the chat box.
Uh,
So the message in the chat box from Fatu is, can we dive deeper in the mention of his supplication being disinterested?
mhm.
That's a good question.
Disinterested. The subject is pure. Yeah. Sincere, disinterested, and devout supplication in the most miraculous fashion. God replies there, responded him back. So, anyone else would like to share? Any comment, question, concern?
I just wanted to add that often um, I think people might mistake disinterested with uninterested. It's two completely different meanings. So that's a good question. Maybe Brother Ali, you want to talk about what disinterested means? Doesn't mean uninterested.
Mhm. Yeah. Changing the direction of interest. But our friend says, can we dive deeper in the mention of this application being disinterested? Exactly the same question. Batu shares, disinterested. Oh, disinterested and uninterested is maybe, I don't know the difference between disinterested and uninterested. I must really profess.
Well, I can tell you
Please.
completely different meanings that um, people get confused about because um, they both imply uninterested and disinterested are both mean not interested, but clearly Jonah is interested. No, he's not. I don't know how to say this. Disinterested means not being influenced by personal feelings. So it's free of interest, whereas uninterested means you're just not interested. It's full of negative feelings.
Now, I don't care.
Yeah, exactly. But disinterested is more um,
Selfish?
neutral, unbiased,
No, no.
unbiased.
Uh, 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 Selfishness. It means disinterested, not really regarding, analyzing, and trying to see the meaning from from the point of selfish interest. It is not a selfish interest, but it is a purposeful interest. It should be disinterested just because it is harmful for me. So uh, I don't care about it because it is harming me. I just decide that it is bad for me. That's it. But not because of the pain that Job is complaining. We should look for the solution. That is how we are created. And this need to look for the solution, to look for the cure, is created by my creator. So I have to go. Like when I am hungry, it is an invitation from the one who created the sense of hunger within me to seek, to get some food to eat. It is just calling as if inviting you to his banquet he created when you feel hungry. If you don't feel hungry, banquet is there, you don't feel to go there. So the one who created you and the banquet of this beautiful earth, everything is provided for you there. So by creating the hunger, it's calling you, go and find the food I created and eat it. So that you will recognize while you are eating. Exactly, the illness is created for an invitation. Go and find the means to cure, for cure, for curing your illness. You will understand that the Creator is providing the means of cure, medicine or some sort of kinds of dietary, whatever, whatever is the experts advise us, we follow them and benefit from it. While we are benefiting, we experience that first, feeling the pain, feeling this illness is an invitation. Look for some solution. That is a purpose in its existence. There is a wisdom in its existence. You see, you cannot really claim that body is yours. No. Look, you have no power to protect it from what I create. So, do you want illness? No. Do you like it? Never. But you fell ill. You felt ill. Why? Or you cannot control your body. Did you realize now? Body is not yours. It is given to you. The owner is different. Got it? Beautiful. So when we understand that the body is not mine, okay, but I feel the pain. What does it mean? It is an invitation to look for solution. While you are looking for solution, you understand that something else is created to satisfy you. Something else is created to cure you. So while you are experiencing all this, you have to remember that God has given the opportunity, if you are taking a medicine, for biologists or chemists or pharmacology, professional people trying to find out the solutions through experiencing how the universe is created and formulating it in a way that we can take it in tablets or a very easy way of curing it. So this is all provided by the creator, and they are the human beings are discovering it. So while you are doing this, you are acting, you are doing, and the Quran is saying that, look, not only to get rid of the pain, while you are trying to get off the pain, you will have an opportunity to see who you are, who is really educating you, that you are a needy person and your needs are provided by the one who created the universe. So you will do that. You are expected to do that. But that is why disinterested. I'm going to get rid of the pain. And what is the wisdom in the creation of the pain? And how the things out there created know you to cure your body. They don't know your body. Who is arranging all this? Like exactly when we feel hungry, like feeling ill, it is an invitation to go and have some food from the banquet prepared for us. Now, when I am going there, what is the point then? Somebody may say, the one who created me with hunger. And the one who created me created something to satisfy my hunger. What is the point? And we understand from his example of Job that the point is when you feel hungry, you know that you are not the owner of your body. Look, it feels something now. Although you don't want to be in need, but you are in need. That's your reality. Accept it. That is how the creation is realized so that we will know who we are. And while you are eating, now, of course, it may be hard to digest this reality. What is the hard side of it? I am speaking on my behalf. I eat to get satisfied. It means I am filling the tank of my body, like I am filling the tank of my car with gas. No, I am a human being. The car is unconscious. I am conscious. So it must be ideally, I am telling to myself, when I experience hunger, when I am eating, the prime purpose of eating should not be for your self-interest. So what should it be then? I am being trained, educated here. Who is my Lord? Who is the one who created this famous example, grapes and oranges in California. And these oranges are created for me in New York. So most of us live in New York as far as I know. What there are exceptions, of course. But anywhere you are, wherever you are, Radwa is from Egypt, I think. So she is receiving, where is the famous place there? You receive oranges from where? Alexandria or where? Or Cairo itself.
Yeah, Cairo itself.
Oh, good. Alhamdulillah, it's easy. So this is growing there, created by the Lord of the universe, owner of the universe. And the orange, the elements in the orange, whatever the vitamin or whatever it is created there, comes into your body, perfectly works there. How do they know? Who are they? What are they? They are just matter. Ultimately, they are just blind, dumb matter. So who's arranging that? The one who's arranging it, introducing He is himself to you. Look, I am the one who arranged it. I am the one who packed it for you. I am the one who designed it. I am the one who gave you smell that you like. I am the one who gave you hunger. So prime purpose of eating whatever is provided for us should not be only to satisfy the needs of our body. It must be a means of satisfying our spiritual needs. It means where I am, who I am, what am I expected to do in this world. That is the meaning of disinterested prayer. Of course, this prayer is presented in the Quranic verse, a verbal form. Oh, this is for our tongue. But this prayer represents acknowledgement of the creator of the universe, creator of my body, creator of Cairo orchards and farmers, creator of the land, creator of Nile to provide water, mashallah. Never finishes. You can see even while we are flying on the airplane, the Nile is so obvious, so big, generous creation, mashallah, mashallah. So I was flying over Egypt once. I looked down and I saw the Nile there going down all along the way. That is great creation. So feed is millions, hundreds of millions of people are benefiting from it, all the way from Sudan until Cairo. And I think it runs into the Mediterranean Sea, and also the fish in the Mediterranean Sea gets their food from them. Incredible arrangement. Rain is sent in Sudan, thousands of miles away in Mediterranean Sea, fish is benefiting from it. People are benefiting from it in all along the way on the territory. It is amazing arrangement. Everything perfectly fits each other. So we have to eat first, not for only our interest, bodily interest, but it must be for spiritual interest. That is why in this story, Prophet Job is presented to us as a one who is the symbol of patience about what? You, as long as you can, uh, how do you say, you can sustain yourself, try to get rid of the pain. But that is bodily need. And try to understand the wisdom in the creation of the pain. That is spiritual need. But here, I think we have to talk about this one as well before it is too late. The time is up.
Before you even go there, Brother Ali, I had a question on the one underlined above. He recalled the great recompense to be had for his sickness, the one you underlined. So that recompense is like the analyzing or looking at the sickness or the hunger that we have to as an invitation. That's what the recompense is.
The I'm trying to find this recommendation.
While afflicted with numerous wounds and sores, he recalled the great recompense to be had for his sickness.
No. Here it is, a great recompense to be had for his sickness. The recompense, you can imagine yourself. You are hungry because if we are not ill right now, may Allah keep it away from us. We don't want it. But when it is given, we welcome it. So look for the solution. So we don't really feel it exactly. But when I am hungry, I am hungry, I am hungry, I am hungry, I need food, I need food. When I find the food, when I'm hungry, I don't complain to the Creator. Why did you create me with hunger? And I don't want to be in need of anything. Of course, that's egotistic understanding. But when you say, oh, the one who created me with the sense of hunger and created me with the understanding that I have to look for solution to satisfy my hunger so that I will be okay after eating something. That is how I am. You know, if you like manufacturer's setting, that is how I am created. So when I experience this with the consciousness that I am created, my sense of hunger is created, my body is created in this way in order to practically experience this, and the food is created, and the pleasure while I'm eating my food is created. What I realize, if I have a right attitude, rather than being selfish, if I have a right attitude, if I don't reduce myself to, I happen to be like this accidentally by myself, but think about the wisdom in creation. It tells you that you are needy and you need to be created, and you are created within the whole context of the universe. And it is inevitable to come to the conclusion that the one who created the universe is my creator, and this creator is putting me in the education, if you like, in the class of the uh, school of the universe or faculty of the universe. So I am here, and when you realize that, be honest to yourself. You cannot, the earth or the air or sunlight cannot create the matter, cannot create the food, cannot create you. You have to go through recognition of Kaaba. So barren land. The universe is a barren land. If you don't accept it, that is, you are out of the way now to recognize and wait recompense at all. So when you recognize it, while you are eating, you recognize the Creator, how kind, merciful He is. And when you understand that your being, everything in the universe belongs to an absolute creator. Rather than complaining, becoming impatient, saying that I am ill, what's wrong with this my creator? Why he creates me illness and why he makes me suffer from this pain? Rather than reacting, rejecting, just wait. Think about the creation. You recognize that you belong to an absolutely merciful one. And then your spirit says, I am now right. Everything is in my service by creator, my absolute creator. So this comfort of belief, realization, is an immeasurable value of recompense. But don't react it. Be patient and calmly investigate the reason of creation. because there is nothing accidentally happening in this world. So the universe is not an accident. Creation of health is not, creation of illness is not an accident. Be careful, be patient first in order to have the time to investigate the reason, wisdom in the creation. You will find the absolute one who is your owner. Your spirit will say, ah, my owner, my Lord is the absolute one. I have no problem. That is my boss. That is my host. Please, Anne, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I just wanted to address the meaning of the word recompense. Based on my understanding, maybe it's not useful here, but um, if he was afflicted for a long time and he recalled the great recompense to be had for his sickness, could that also mean he recalled what he had to give up um, due to the sickness, like what he had to give up, such as, if someone's ill for a long time, they give up a lot of things bodily, and you have to endure all that with um, patience. So I just was wondering if recompense here could also mean what he had to give up while he was sick, and then he had to endure that with utmost patience.
Yeah, it means, look, thank you. Done? Are you done, Anne?
Oh, sorry. Yes, I'm done.
All right. Now, the recompense, God gives you the security, satisfaction of belief. If I am patient, patient doesn't mean that do nothing. No, not don't automatically react. I don't like this. No, you don't like this. Your sense of dislike is from your creator. That's why you shouldn't like it. But at the same time, there is wisdom in this creation. Nothing accidentally, randomly happens in this world. So be patient, calm down, and while you are in pain of whatever is created for you that you don't like, wait, see what benefit you can get from it. So think about this. You understand, God is reminding me, the creator is reminding me who he is. And my spirit will acknowledge that, my mind, my intellect, my spirit will acknowledge that this is my creator. And he is just reminding me that I should not forget and claim the ownership of, this is my body, this is the food I bought, I paid for it. So that is what I am really taking care of myself. No, you are only using what created for you by God. So when you recognize, as a result of having an patience, when you recognize your creator, introduce the creator, absolutely merciful creator, merciful educator, merciful Lord to your spirit, you will feel parasitical life in this world. That is the recompense. So in the hereafter, that's something. What we shouldn't really reduce it to some reward in the hereafter. Why? What am I doing in this world? I will suffer here, and in the hereafter I will be great. Why not here as well? I want to be happy here. That feeling is created by my creator. So traditionally, this kind of understanding of patience really blocked the way to reaching the spiritual uh, satisfaction. That is the recompense in this world, the benefit of belief in Creator. is has an immeasurable value. We shouldn't miss this. So we have to reconsider the concept of patience in the Quran. So what does it mean? What benefit I should get from it? I think time is too late. I have to stop here, but we have to study this part now. This part. Now, this part of the paragraph next week. But this is so important. So we will see what is, where I should seek refuge with God, where I should be patient and just look for solution and find out the one who created me. Inshallah, we will study this part and continue next week because this is important. So I will put it into a different color so that let me make it in a different color. Which one is the best? This one? Let me see how it looks. Yeah, we will study this part next week and then continue from the point by point, 5 points, inshallah. For the moment, any more? Any question? Concern? I think we studied two very important terms, disinterested and also recompense. What kind of recompense we wait? We shouldn't be simple-minded saying that I am waiting for reward in the hereafter because I just waited. I didn't complain. I said, okay, God, okay, you can give me more pain. You can give me more pain. Welcome, welcome. No. So that I will not complain why God is putting me in pain and torturing me here. In the hereafter, he will give me paradise. It is a very, very wrong understanding of patience at all. So we have to be very realistic. We have to see our existential reality and understand the Quran accordingly. Now, especially this time, no one really accepts this kind of, I have to do nothing or even do something, but don't complain, don't complain. So in the hereafter, that's ridiculous. It's not the solution. Quran is teaching me right now. How can I manage with my life? Now. I want to be happy right now. Why not? Suffer here and in the hereafter. If I am suffering here, it means my creator is a torturer creator. How can I expect mercy from this creator? I have to see his mercy here. So I am a bit sensitive to this kind of traditional understanding of the Quranic terminology, which goes against human nature, reality. And the purpose of the Quran cannot contradict my human nature. We have to watch out. Thank you very much. Inshallah, I'll see you, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, next week or in our discussion on Monday. And unfortunately, this week only, we won't have Tuesday, but following week, inshallah, we will resume our Saturday, Tuesday discussions as well. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Subhanaka la ilma lana illa ma 'allamtana. إنك أنت العليم الحكيم وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين بحرمة سر سورة الفاتحة.